At this point, we're ready to start looking at the walking school bus update.
That's me.
That's you.
Okay, so the walking school bus is also it's known more nationally as the Safe Routes to School, and it's a program that's designed to encourage kids, families, and community members to walk to school daily. Its goals is to battle childhood obesity, get kids that are within walking distance of school not to get a ride from mom or dad, but to have mom and dad walk them to school. Schools that are involved in this neighborhood are schools number 2 and schools number 19, and recently school number 10 also joined on board. So, and the 3 of those schools are trying to encourage school number 4 to participate. It's funded through those 3 schools. 10 and 19 received a grant from the Greater Rochester Health Foundation, which you guys probably know. It's about $300,000 over the course of 3 years, with goals to implement like positive, to try to encourage kids and their parents to be more physically active, to eat better food. So this Safe Routes to School, or the walking school bus, is part of that. Some of the obstacles that we've faced through this starting the program, which actually started in October, has been one major thing is there's not neighborhood schools, so that's a struggle. School number 2 might have 400 kids and only 90 walkers, so it's hard to change the whole culture of the school to become a walking school when you have 75% of the kids taking the bus.
90 walkers, or 90 that are within the feeder pattern.
Right. 90 that are within the 1.5 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's troubling for us when we know that the district spends $63 million a year to bus kids, which we already know that. And also another obstacle that we face is trying to get community partners to want to walk with the kids to school, because it doesn't just have to be their mom or dad. It can be groups like this. So that's what we're hoping to move towards in the future. And our original goal might have been a bit ambitious. It was like a daily walking program. Mm-hmm. And now, looking back, we've kind of changed some of our goals. So right now we're doing just once a month. It's called Walking Wednesdays. It'll be the first Wednesday of every month. And on May 7th is National Walk/Bike to School Day. So we're hoping everyone in the neighborhood participates on that day in particular. So like I said, we're going to move right now to a once a month program, but our goal for the fall is for it to be once a week, and then hopefully a couple times a week, and then over time let it naturally grow into a daily program, rather than us just trying to make it into a daily program. I'm actually going to a conference in San Diego in March. Lucky me. That focuses on a big part of it is improving safe routes to school in neighborhoods where it's not working. So I get to talk with a lot of experts, talk with other people that are involved in these programs at different schools, and so I look forward on learning some new things. So that's an update. It's still going. And I think one of the most fascinating things was that school number 2, 10, and 19, of course, they received the money through the Greater Rochester Health Foundation. On their own, they decided to ask number 4 to join. I think ultimately with the foundation, that's their goal, because eventually that money's going to be gone. But your goal would be that it would reach out just naturally, and people start bringing in other schools and other people. So that's one of the encouraging things that I'm seeing. So that's an update on that.
Question.
Yeah.
What's the money, the grant? What's that going to buy?
Once the routes are established, it'll buy like reflector jackets, the things of that nature. The grant they receive, it helps fund my job, which I go to all the meetings and I recruit people to come. So that's
good.
part of it.
Yeah.
For parents that walk or volunteers, there'll be refreshments after you come from walking the kids to school. So then that's another opportunity to get to meet new people. So that'll be part of that funding. Yeah.
And the funding also is used up at 19 for a lot of other things too. Eva uses it to connect with the Jefferson Medical Center and Dr. Bear and Dr. Brown as it relates to healthy eating and other health-related. So it's a wide range of programs within the umbrella of the grant.
Yeah, like we just recently, today actually, we did a lunch observation at school number 19, and we did that at all 8 schools because we wanted to see why kids were throwing food away. Typically, you don't throw away good food, so you don't know if it's the quality of the food, or is it the packaging, or is it the environment the kids are in. And through the observations, we're finding that it's some of all of those. Some of the food comes in a packaging that someone that's 5 or 6 years old just wouldn't be able to open up, and they would need to find a cafeteria staff. But if there's only 2 that's monitoring 6 tables, eventually you might just give up. So you're totally right that funding is covering like a whole lot of things. But that's another aspect of the work that I'm also involved into.
Have you connected with our CDC at all? The people who have developed the city's master plan? They have-
For the walking school?
Yeah.
Yes. And so they're the ones that actually gives us the names of all the walkers. But really, until it's more neighborhood schools, it'll be a difficult problem.
But they're into it?
Yes.
Okay.
Very
Just
much so.
curious.
Very much so.
I'm thinking the weather this winter has not been
And
friendly
that's
either.
a part of it too. That it's been as we all know, it's been a brutal winter. So that has played a role into it.
I wouldn't
also.
send my little kid out and do that.
Right,
to walk to school.
right.
And so if they did, like for a winter program, would any of that money, if some of the money's going towards like safety versus reflective vests and things, would anything go towards like, like ski masks or?
Yeah,
anything
no,
for
yes,
gloves
there's
and stuff like that?
there's mittens and scarves that are also available to the
Oh, okay.
kids too. And we're also, next week, we're going to do a walkability assessment from school 2 to school 19, where we're gonna check for things like markers being marked safely for kids, curbs that are falling apart. We're doing a walking assessment of the route to school. So if someone's interested in being a part of that as well, I'm always looking for volunteers. If you want to walk with me about 8:30 in the morning next week, come on, take your step.
You're doing that from which school?
We're gonna go from number 2 to number 19.
Okay.
What day?
Probably next Thursday, and it'll be for about an hour.
Starting from 19?
I don't know if we'll start from 19 or we'll start from number 2. But if you give me your contact, I'll let you all know that by Friday.
Can't do it, I know that.
Yeah.
You sound incredibly thorough and diligent, sir.
Yeah, if you can let me know, I'll post it on location.
Okay.
19.
All right. Thank you.
So right now at school 2, they're walking
Monthly
monthly?
and at 19, and number 10 just joined actually.
Okay.
And then the 3 of those schools, they each have a grant supervisor from the grant on their own that they want to bring in school number 4. And also they talked about bringing in school 29.
Okay.
So just because those schools didn't receive the money, they don't want to leave them out. And at school number 2 and 19, they're also doing some physical fitness programs for parents, and they're going to also invite those schools that aren't receiving the grant to also come and be a part of that also.
Now, there was something on the budget this year for encouraging at least 2 schools or something like that to be walking or be neighborhood schools. Have you been aware of that, and which schools are they? I don't recall offhand.
I don't know. Yeah, no, because I just work with the 8 schools that receive funding, which are school 2, 10, 12, 19, 33, 43, 46, and 58. So those are my primary schools.
Okay.
That'll-
I have to remember to check into which schools it was, but, okay. And we just had one
Yeah.
more person.
Was the choice
Hi,
for
Maya.
was the choice for walking instead of biking, like bike trains and such? Was it chosen just simply because there's no added cost for bikes? Or
I
if
actually.
you're not excluding kids.
Yeah, no, kids aren't excluded from biking, and they can bike. I do know there were some concerns on if their bikes would be stolen. Prior to working for Finger Lakes, I used to work at the Phyllis Wheatley Library, and our number one problem was stolen bikes. The bikes could be locked up in front of the library, and at least 3 times a week we had bikes stolen. So I know that's fear of some of the parents that their kids' bikes would be stolen, and for them to be locked down in front of the building for 7 hours.
Yeah,
Right.
fair.
I don't know if they want to do that.
Yeah.
Can they be brought in?
I don't know. I mean, that's something I can definitely ask.
And helmets? Eric,
Um,
what about that?
I don't know if any money was set aside to provide them helmets. I guess like the hope would be if kids had bikes that they would also bring their own. I can find out about that as well.
I don't know, because when, yeah, when I used to do pack biking,
Good question.
you know, do you have a helmet?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Can you ask, you know?
Now I do know in April, I believe, School 2 is having a bike rodeo, and so I don't know if they're going to provide anything with that. I know that's with Prevention First is going to be a part of that bike rodeo this spring at School Number 2.
Are the police gonna be?
I don't know
doing
about that.
Also?
That I don't know.
Okay, because you know, there are rules of the road
Mm-hmm.
and all of that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
That's scary if they don't know what they're doing.
Right. Well, and I think that's why School Number 2 is going to put on a bike rodeo. Like, that's separate from me, but I was recently made
Yeah.
aware that they're going to do that this spring.
Actually, I think I'm not sure, but it might be against the law for a
What?
kid under 14 not to have a helmet.
Yeah, I think they
Yes.
changed that
Yeah.
law. You had to wear a helmet when I was 10. I remember them changing it, but you had to wear a helmet.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know that Chris Runyon and the CPOs at the NSC office, at the last National Night Out celebration, they had free helmets for the kids, and they were, getting the right size for them. So you might check with them and see if they can get involved in
Yeah.
some sort of program like that at the school. Nothing like having some chance to get a free helmet to encourage you to
Right.
use one.
And we actually do a bike rodeo in July. I'll get the contact information because they give all the kids free helmets. So,
So I would imagine, at least for number 2 school, that the same thing will
That
probably
probably
happen.
Yeah.